characteristics of BPD, they're more likely to be less sexually restrictive. It's called splitting.
Crazy in bed and crazy out
So
of bed.
the way it works is when you validate me, you are an angel and the greatest woman I've ever met in my life. When you don't validate me, I need to have sex with all of your friends because you're a horrible fucking person.
Since we're talking about the military,
I like to be on the ground.
I'm in the military and I have tons of recordings of her. I learned that a long time ago she's BPD and needs help, but we have 3 kids. Done protecting her image. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know why you would have needed to have 3 kids before you figured out that.
Right? Yeah.
No, but no. Here's the thing.
I do 10 times more chores than my domestic violence wife. You just don't want to do anything. Also, I make 5 times as much as her. You're denying the transactional nature of her.
Wait, is he still with her though? Like those comments, like,
are you a beta?
If you're saying that like she beats
Why
you and that
are
you
you
make
here?
more money, like if your life is that fucking sucky, why are you
Maybe
still
he's
with her?
afraid
Because
of her.
from that
Maybe
comment, it
he's
makes
afraid
it
of
seem
her.
like you're still with her. So what is she doing? That punani must be fucking good if you still with her.
But here's the thing. How about this, Monica? He doesn't have any other options.
Well,
that's what
man,
he said.
I'm sorry. No matter how
Okay.
ugly you are, you still have fucking
But
options.
you don't know.
here's
But
the
as a
thing.
man,
But
the world certainly doesn't tell you that. And there's not a
But
group
I'm
of
telling
men.
you that.
There's not a group of men being like, "Hey, ugly dude, you have options." My point is that really is no one advocating for unattractive men. No one, except me. There's no one.
And here,
For women, what I see a lot in those situations is that they don't have the financial standing to leave because he's the provider, he does all the stuff. So same thing with him in his situation. If
do you have a
she's-
job?
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like for him in that situation, right? Like he's saying like she's the provider.
Go
she does
No,
all
DoorDash.
the
he
stuff.
said he makes 5 times
DoorDash.
more than her.
He
Yeah,
said
but
that
I think
in
what we
that
could say
situation.
possibly is that men's desperation for female companionship and the mother of their children and having sex on a regular basis exceeds a woman's necessity for a man who makes more money than her, because 80% of divorces are initiated by women.
But if he's talking about how he makes 5 times more money, like that's obviously attracted to other women. Like,
Well,
you know
here's
what I'm
also the
saying?
thing,
Like
if
if
he's
this
married-
woman, if you're saying this woman's beating you and you make 5 times more
I
money,
mean, she
like,
could make
trust me-
20K and he makes 100K.
Here's
You know
also
what?
the
Trust
thing,
me, man.
though.
You have other options.
But
This
here's
is
also
coming
the
from a
thing, though.
serious
Since
ass
he
note.
is making more money, then that means when they get divorced, she gets half the shit, even though.
But
that-
if you're being
hang
beaten,
on,
you're not
hang on,
happy.
Hang on, you split it down the middle. But then not only that, a lot of the time, if you're making too much money and she's not making that much, that especially if it's 5 times, you have to owe alimony. So
Okay, well then
listen,
also go to the
listen,
police
by the
about her
50th
beating your
By the
ass.
5th time, do what Michael did. Like, why don't you have cameras in your house?
Exactly,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah, like-
When I hear BPD and then 3 kids, that means you are pussy whipped. That's all that means. Like you have no standards. for you to- BPD is hard, guys. Like I'm going to tell you right now. I'm just going to be real with you. Best sex you'll ever have in your life. Like
Yes.
BPD girl is just absolutely
bitches,
crazy.
yeah.
Like because
Can confirm.
here's the issue. Here's the issue, guys. When you're dealing with a girl who has BPD or is bipolar, when they're open, when they're in their up phase, when they're in their complete manic phase, everything is open to you. Everything is available on the menu.
what's male BPD?
Huh?
What would be male?
Well,
BPD?
men suffer from borderline personality disorder much less than
Far,
women
far
do.
lower grades.
And they tend to suffer from narcissism as opposed to borderline personality disorder. Does that make sense?
Okay, but what are the characteristics of like between like
Huh?
a woman and a man of having like this BPD?
The difference of the characteristics?
Yes.
They're both more likely, you guys look up the characteristics of BPD, they're more likely to be less sexually restrictive. It's called splitting.
Crazy
meaning-
in bed and crazy out
so,
of bed.
So the way you can characterize BPD is the majority of the disorder is based around the person who's suffering from it, the sufferer, their necessity for abandonment or like their feelings of abandonment. It's based around abandonment.
Everything will be misconstrued, like every little conversation.
Yes, there you go.
You know, if you're going out and you're hanging out with friends and you come home and you are
Where are
acting
you?
just ever so slightly different, you were cheating, and
Yes.
they just
So
run narratives. Like
Yes.
I dated a guy for
because
a long time
because their fear of abandonment causes them to split. So the way it works is when you validate me, you are an angel and the greatest woman I've ever met in my life. When you
idealize
don't
it.
validate me, I need to have sex with all of your friends because you're a horrible
Do
person.
you think that the percentage of males not being as high as women is because males don't report or have mental health issues?
No, I think so. Martha, it depends on who you ask. If Dr. Martha Stout, she believes that the reason why more women are diagnosed with BPD than men is because of a bias in psychology where you take the same symptoms and you put a man on there and they say narcissist, you put the same symptoms on a woman, they say BPD.
Ladies, what would you think if your guy did this to you?
Okay. Wait. Lukey! What are you doing? No.
you not hungry?
No.
Oh, hell
It's like, okay, that last one, this one. I would be so mad.
Hi. Oh my God. What are you doing?
Excuse me, real quick here.
I am going to do this tonight.
I need to go to the bathroom.
I'm going to
after this.
I'm going to do
I
this
need a
tonight.
bathroom break.
She's like shocked.
This is a shot of mouthwash.
Nah.
I would tease him
The
back
excitement
so
that those
hard.
girls are feeling in that
No,
moment.
for real.
And that buildup of like, oh my God, he's just gonna take me, and then that like letdown.
Especially that,
like, oh my heart.
especially with the one with the longer hair, where it's like, okay, you're gonna go down on me.
Yeah.
No,
she
he
was
really
like,
made it realistic in that one. Like he's touching her thighs and
Smacks
everything.
her
You're
on the
like,
head with the
damn,
pot.
what the?
Like I thought that I was like watching a scene real quick.
No,
Laura, what do you think?
Oh,
Would you have enjoyed that or been upset?
I think it's cute.
She's like, why are you picking me up right now?
I think it's cute.
Eden?
At least he's showing like
Wouldn't move
flirty.
me.
that he's
It wouldn't do anything to Eden unless the guy had a big wallet.
$5 million.
Eden, how tall does the guy have to be? $5 million. Eden, what color eyes does he have? $5 million.